Hi, I'm Claire.
And I'm Heather.
And we are
Masterpeace Astrology.
We're here with your forecast this week for Sunday, April 22nd through Saturday, April 28th. And first of all, happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
Yay, peace out. And that's probably the most optimistic I'm going to feel. This is a really explosive week, folks. A lot of powerful energy. So getting right to it, Sunday morning might start with a bit of a surprise because Moon squares Uranus, and that can feel like a little emotionally uncomfortable. The metaphor I was thinking of is kind of like when you're got the house to yourself for the weekend, your roommates are out of town, you're going to sleep in, and then guess who's knocking on your door at 7 in the morning to get in? It's your landlord. Maybe you never even bothered to tell you. That kind of surprise. That's how your Sunday might start.
Yeah. Well, and also Pluto goes retrograde, so that's a big outer planet. And basically it's about transformation and change. It going retrograde, we're going to go back over issues of power and control, and the fact that we really have no control. It's just an illusion, so you can just not challenge the whole energy and just bow down.
That's a really good way of putting it.
And surrender, and just make your life easier, because it's just it's a never-ending battle that you will lose. So that's basically how I feel about the energy.
I think it's a really good way of putting it, because if you haven't been forced to bow down and surrender yet, you will this week.
You will if you continually try to push your own agenda.
Right. Don't push your own agenda.
Just don't do it.
Wherever you're meeting resistance, that's a sign to be going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So with Pluto stationing retrograde is enormous. It has really powerful impacts personally and collectively. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a little bit of an insecure day because of that. When Pluto stations, it really makes us aware of power. So,
right. And Pluto is a planet. I don't care what they say.
No, it is a very big planet. It also, and it really is very important this week because it rules Scorpio, a lot of Scorpio themes.
Yes.
So that's Sunday. And then on Monday, Venus sits in Taurus for the last day at 29 degrees of Taurus. That's just, all that just means is, it's the end of a degree. It might remind us a little bit about values. But more importantly, Monday night, Jupiter and Mars perfect a sextile. And Pluto and Mars Mars and Jupiter perfect a sextile. And Pluto and Mars are conjunct. So that sextile is an easy opportunity, is what a sextile is, to take advantage of energy. It's not, it's something you really got to reach out for, right? The sextiles require you to act.
Yeah, they're just like some little bit of an opportunity comes your way, and you have to either go with it or not go with it. Yeah. Also, I'd like to address the moon squaring Jupiter.
Yeah, please do.
Leo. Normally, I would say that this energy is very positive, and it is positive, but it also could have something to do with ego and self-righteous attitude. So if you have a strong Leo in your chart or a strong 5th house, just kind of make note of that. And I'm only mentioning it because there are other things going on that also, with the whole Pluto thing, having to do with the ego.
Well, right, the ego, like the moon is really squaring the sextile, and this sextile between, again, Mars, Pluto, conjunct, same place in Capricorn, forming an easy angle to Jupiter and Scorpio.
Yeah.
This is a tremendous opportunity to deal positively with authority and get in touch with your correct authority. Really the lesson is about paying attention to how we use our authority.
It is.
It really is, and how do we use our power? And I'll tell you what, by Monday night, if you're not using it wisely or in a way that's really constructive, you may find yourself being a victim of somebody else's power play, because that's the other part of this equation this week, folks. If you're not using your power, somebody else is going to use it against you.
And it's really important to know when somebody's coming at you with an ego, or you're coming at somebody with an ego, and it's really important because of all the Pluto stuff going on and then the Uranus thing happening next month, that it's really important to be able to separate the ego from your true authentic self, because that's where the power play and the manipulation and trying to control everything comes from, the ego. So
absolutely,
if things aren't going your way, check yourself.
And also, be aware. Again, Monday evening is a great opportunity for this, about how you're expanding your range of activities. This is a great time to grow spiritually, to allow us to be very buoyant spiritually, and to grow in a way that's very benevolent, and so we'll be aware of how we can increase our activities that are very positive.
And a transformative life-death kind of thing. Something has to die with Pluto,
right.
And be reborn. So it doesn't have to be traumatic. It can be something very good.
It can be, but there also
be winning the lottery.
Yeah, but there are also losses. In order for things to be gained, you do have to often lose something. Don't be afraid of the loss this week, because a lot of times it's an ego-based loss. So, so that's kind of that's really big.
That's the big theme of the week. Tuesday, I'd like to say that Venus is going into Gemini, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about that because Venus in Gemini itself is a very communicative sign. It's ruled by Mercury. It's all about talking. So people with any kind of strong Gemini, you will know them right away because they will talk your ear off.
Right.
In the movie Anne of Green Gables, or in the book, Marilla talks to Matthew in the barn and says she could talk the hind leg off a mule. That is anybody that you know. Yeah,
good talkers, great rappers.
Great rappers.
Baby. Gemini.
And strong third house. So the energy is turning to better communication and kind of light and fairy. I kind of look at Gemini energy as kind of like Tinkerbell, just kind of light and fluffy. So it is kind of adding that, but we're
going to be able to think and talk. Because there's been no air anywhere in the chart, in the chart that's been going on in the sky.
It's not been light and fluffy.
It's been air and water, so this will be welcome to communicate more easily.
Right, and then the other sign ruled by Mercury is Virgo, and the moon is in Virgo at the time that Venus goes into Gemini. So that kind of energy kind of brings down the Gemini a little bit and can create some anxiety or a little overthinking and over worrying. So
would you say negative self-talk even?
Could be negative self-talk, or other people just kind of being a little bit more judgy. Yeah. So just kind of pay attention to that, even if somebody's doing that to you. It's a transit, so it's going to go away. And then you can enjoy Venus in Gemini. So happy Venus Gemini.
Yeah, and another thing to really keep in mind as well is that on Wednesday we do have Mercury square Saturn. That's going to be the following day, but the reason I bring that up is because that aspect's been building all week, and that kind of piggybacks on this Virgo-Gemini square on Tuesday with Venus and Moon, because Mercury and Saturn, while a little bit of a longer-lasting, durable square, is still about some of that mental self-talk that's negative. That's a very judgmental aspect in which we can often question ourselves, maybe doubt ourselves. So until, that's exact Wednesday afternoon Pacific time at 2:27. So until that time this week, there may be a feeling of just some negativity, even as we're trying to grow and expand into this positive kind of spiritual growth that's available to us. With the Pluto and the Mars sextiling Jupiter. So that would be my just keep that in your awareness. Don't be too down on yourself.
Yeah, and Wednesday, I kind of see it as kind of not, it's a very productive day.
It is, because it's hard work.
Getting tasks done, but it's not an overly happy or optimistic day.
No, I don't think so.
Serious-minded.
It's just serious, so yeah.
Getting stuff done.
It's also a great day to really focus, I think, on hard work or tasks, because even if you're not really aware of like being a victim of a power play or being involved in a power play, you're thinking, gee, I have authority over myself, how does this apply?
Yes.
Using this energy to get something done, you will feel really good about doing hard work. So if you have like a task that involves heavy labor, I would suggest doing it anytime before we have this Mars-Pluto conjunction Thursday at 3:54 a.m., which is the following day, because that's that maximum expression of that energy. So get to work and do some tasks that might help you process that energy. I mean, would you say that might be a...
Thursday with that Mars-Pluto conjunction, it is an aggressive kind of energy. Yeah. That's kind of all about transformation or destroy.
Well, it really is power. I mean, I think you're tempted to really take power and run. Ego. Well, yeah, we're really strongly stimulated to act with our ego with this transit. So it's early Thursday morning Pacific time, but again, starting Sunday of this week through Thursday, you're going to feel it.
And that's why it's important to
ruthless.
it is ruthless.
It's very
so
ruthless.
Before we actually get to the transit, it is really good to differentiate within yourself or within others what's actually happening so that you can react in a way that's better.
Right, Mercury is direct now. There is we're more clear about what's happening around us, and we're more clear about our role. So it's really important to clarify it. Again, I cannot overemphasize how strong this energy is. With Pluto and Mars together, the will is enormous, and I'm just expecting collectively to see a lot of strong expressions of will. And I'm expecting to see it domestically, even politically. I mean, this conjunction of Pluto and Mars with the sextile, it opposes President Trump's Venus and Saturn and Cancer, almost exactly. So I'm expecting nationally to see some pretty dramatic shifts this week.
Well, and he is a Gemini, isn't he?
He is a Gemini.
With Uranus there, so the Venus there.
Mars and Leo rising,
yeah.
like late degrees. This Uranus is so he's going to blow it. I'm pretty certain. I mean, it's hardly a prediction, but again, astrology is about the timing of events. So I'm just kind of positing with this conjunction early Thursday morning. I would expect maybe Wednesday or Thursday to see something go.
Yeah, and then Friday we have kind of a mixed bag day. It's just trying to get over. Actually, that's Saturday. Saturday is kind of the mixed bag day where you're glad it's Saturday and.
Yeah, we skipped right over Friday because it's just the day that's just.
TGIF.
That's also just a hard day, and it's just not a good day to communicate, folks. There's a lot of intense emotions we're going to be feeling, processing whatever happened Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I would just keep it low key on Saturday.
Focus on yourself.
Focus on the self, because with the moon,
Saturday.
It's going to be emotional and not really favorable for relationships or having any kind of late kind of fun time.
It's not light and fluffy.
Yeah, and if you have planets actually in Libra or Pluto or Capricorn, it's not. It's just lay low.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair to say the cardinal signs, Libra, Capricorn, even Aries and Cancer, really feeling this powerful energy. I mean, we all are.
And we're leading up to the full moon that happens next Sunday, and I think we're going to do a separate video on this full moon.
Yeah, because there's so much we need.
There's a lot in there, so we're just going to we'll do a whole other video on that and post that, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, can I just leave with the Sabian symbol for 22 degrees of Capricorn? The Sabian symbol for that degree is by accepting defeat gracefully, a general reveals nobility of character. All 360 degrees of the circle represent a stage of development, and that's kind of where Pluto and Capricorn is this week. It's just an interesting metaphor to think about where we might need to back off from really demanding that our agenda is right.
Yeah.
So until we talk about the full moon, good luck this week. Focus on yourself and learn how to use your authority correctly.
And
whatever
peace
that means
out.
for you. Yeah. Peace out.
Peace out.